And now it is time for the Else View, so this should take another 4 hours.
Brandon's just gonna get off this podcast and just go straight to work.
Yeah, pretty much. Watch my sleep time go down. It's down to like 2 hours now.
Yes. Oh, shit. So I'm gonna go first because mine's gonna be really quick because I did talk about this a little bit on Mind of a Geek, but mine is a Android app. I am not sure if it's available on iOS. That's mainly because I have Android. And this is an app called Triple Agent. This is a mafia style game where you have two warring sides. All you need for it is just a device, a Android device, and you need at least 5 players. So Corey, this is honestly, this is a lot like the game you recommended a couple years ago, One Night Ultimate Werewolf, yep. Except with less abilities for everyone, like less set abilities.
It is on iOS. Yeah.
All right, awesome. And so with this, you have like for example, we've got 6 people here. We could all play this in theory right now, and
I'm downloading.
There's always going to be less of the opposition, or also known as virus agents, than there are the good guys who are known as the service or agents of the service. And you go through, you set up the player names, and then you pass it around. The virus agents know who each other are. So, for example, let's say that Brandon and Nate were the virus agents. Brandon holds up the phone. It says, okay, you tap it to, you press and hold to go through the screen. It says, you're a member of virus. So is Nate. Pass it along. And it just says, for everyone else, it says, there are 2 virus agents out there. And the next round is your intel. You're given this intel that you say aloud, and they give you the secret intel, and you can either lie about it. So, for example, Brandon could get, we have 2 people coming in, or we have names of 2 people who are on virus, and then he can straight up lie and be like, Evan and Beatmaster are virus agents. That's what the intel told me that those guys are virus. They're so legitly virus. And then it passes around. We get through everyone, and then you get to the voting stage after a discussion, and then you vote for one person. If the service people nominate a virus agent, they win. If anyone else is nominated, then the virus guys win. No, and it's virus. There are dots in between, so it's not like I'm calling you guys an STD. It's like it probably stands for something that they came up with as a clever thing. But yeah, it's really quick. Like all in all, I think it takes like maybe 15 minutes to play around, and it's anywhere from 5 to 9 players. And actually, it's brilliantly done where there's no ads. It's a free app to download. The way they get you to support them is with the expansion pack. The expansion pack costs $2.99. At least it's $2.99 on Android. I'm not 100% sure how much it is on iOS. And you get more intel, more features that way. And it's freaking awesome. There's new roles like the triple agent. So it's a double agent working for, they think they're working for virus, but really they're working for the service and all these other things. And it adds this added layer of fun. But yeah, so there's triple agent. It is available on iOS and Android. Go download it now. So Corey has passed on his nerding out, his Else View, because we're probably just going to talk for the next 2 hours about Brandon's, and that is Game of Thrones Season 7.
Don't say 2 hours.
He goes to work in 2 hours.
Do not say 2 hours. No. I need to get a new job so I can be more in line with the schedule of all these shows, because every time we do a show, I'm just about done with my day. It's terrible. Game of Thrones, season finale. So how many people here actually watch Game of Thrones? I know Nate doesn't.
I do. I watched the season finale at a bar.
I am aware that a little finger got cut off.
You were. So we obviously passed the books at this point, and the directors, the double Ds, are basically hitting bullet points that Martin wants them to hit. So do you guys think that this season as a whole has lived up to previous seasons? Better, worse?
Action scene wise, like the big plot points, yes. Some of the finer details, I feel like it's lacking a little bit.
I feel like that is a big problem. Those finer details are fundamentally what make that show a different kind of fantasy than any other fantasy that you would get. Yeah. I mean, we've reached the point now where we have the White Walkers, we have the dragons, we have everything that we wanted, but do we actually want it now that we have it? I personally, I'm still happy with it, but I can see the cracks in the ship at this point. I see a lot of people saying that the show jumped the shark with after Eastwatch. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I see a lot of problems where, yeah, we're moving a lot faster now and we're running out of time to wrap this up. But you've made a lot of jumps, and I think there could have been a lot more Kevin Smith-esque like dialogue of people in rooms. I mean, I'm really big on dialogue. I listen to Corey talk, right? So I like to listen to dialogue.
So in the Lord of the Rings movies, the trilogy, it took 3 movies and let's say about 100 fucking hours for those people to walk from one place to another place. And Game of Thrones this season seems to have thrown all that to the fucking wind and just you teleport wherever you need to be. That is a big part of it. I think, Brandon, you completely nailed it in that it's written from an outline. It's not written from stories.
Because they got a patch update that added Hearthstone.
Yeah, exactly.
So they teleport to their recall points.
I have a Hearthstone in my fireplace. Yeah, no, unless you're Gendry, in which case you can Super Mario it back to the fucking castle. I don't understand how far they went, if they zigzagged, what happened, but he ran a beeline right back to Eastwatch through the gate.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to move on to the end of the finale where the wall, spoilers, 3, 2, 1, one fucking dragon, no matter what frost dragon, whatever he's spewing, you're not going to bring the wall down with one dragon. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I heard they had Cinda Grossa in the episode.
I saw you questioning the post last night on Facebook.
Yeah, I was told that as a Wrath of the Lich King fan, I need to at least watch this episode because I'll get like a glimpse of what the Warcraft movie should have been.
Yeah. The other thing that I saw was they were saying that because the dragon has blue eyes and is a little bit more paler and is spewing out blue fire, that he was the blue eyes white dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! And all, complete with doing the Photoshop of making the White Walker King look like I'm blanking on his name, but the character who always played with the blue eyes white dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh! And making Jon Snow Yugi from the show, which I found a little bit amusing at the time. I'm like, yeah, I see it.
I've only ever played the card game, but even then I have no knowledge of that at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the one. I think it's the Saito starter deck. When the game first came out, they had it was just dragon that was looked like it was metal, and it had blue eyes, and it was white. So that's how they called it, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and all that.
Speaking of white, is the dragon a white or is it a white walker? Meaning
it's a Dracolich.
Touche.
First of all, it doesn't walk; it flies.
We
watched
it walk down the wall last night. We watched Drogon walk down the wall at the fucking Coliseum.
It was falling with style.
With style.
Okay,
there are still some good character moments.
Talking about Game of Thrones, bitches. Top that.
There's still good character moments going on, but it feels like we're rushing through things to get to these marks of now the show is we've killed so many people off that we're just left with the favorites now.
Yeah.
And so it's hard not to enjoy what we have happening because we've been with the story with these people for so long and we're seeing things come together and we're seeing things, but it loses the impact because the story's not there to really make these moments worth it. And so when you get a reveal of Jon Snow's name, you have no context of anything of what that means, and it's just kind of thrown together slapdash. It's like, oh, I remember Gilly saying this thing out of this fucking book a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to give her credit, but yeah, here you go. And
can I ask a quick question? Because I want to know the spoilers, but I didn't watch it. So who is he? What's his real name?
He's a Targaryen, which is great in a Star Wars sense, because while Bren is being his mystical weird fucko self, telling Samuel Tarly
Targaryen, so Dragon Girl, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Oh no, hold on. It gets better. While he's telling
where we're starting with incest and ending with incest.
Basically, you're starting with incest for the evil, and now you're having incest for good. So
yeah,
Jon Snow ends up being Aegon Targaryen.
No. There's your show title. #incest for good.
Oh God,
ladies and gentlemen, this has been the final ElseNerds show.
Started with incest and we ended with incest.
It's been fun, folks.
It's a family story.
Yeah, but But no, in all seriousness, while they're doing the whole, like they're saying, oh, his name's like Edwin Targaryen or whatever, you see him knocking on her door, and then cut back to them up in
And
West.
then knocking on her boots.
Yeah. And then everyone at the bar is like, oh, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, we got Cersei and Jaime who do it daily, nightly, and ever so rightly, and now we got this. I mean, come on.
You're having dirty, nasty incest with Jaime and Cersei, and now you're having innocent, pure, loving incest with the other two. Did anybody think that when he was outside of the door looking awestruck that they cut that on purpose so it seemed like he was outside the room that Bran and Samwell were in? I mean, it's obvious, right? And given that we've had so many jump cuts in this season, it's believable that he could have been outside of that room.
John?
Yeah, because they have the big reveal where he's Aegon Targaryen, and then they cut right to him standing outside of a door looking exasperated. So it really looks like he could have been listening into that conversation, even though we all know where he actually is.
Yeah. I think so. I think so. If at first, if you didn't notice that there was a dragon on the door and all that, but it's like we're just looking like, oh, he's standing right there, and then oh wait, he's knocking on his cousin's door, or however the relationship is.
His aunt. So yeah,
hey, Auntie, can you help me?
I didn't like the way that Littlefinger died purely because the whole plot line there was a fucking mess. It was not done
well because it was condensed down too much. They were trying to get so much done in the 7 episodes, and they also, I feel like they wanted to have, we need to have a sizable death in the ending of the season, and so that was just like, here's the points we have to do to get to that, and that's all we got. It's a bare bones. It's like reading a novel, and then the next novel is coming out, but you don't get to read the next novel. You read the outline. Right.
Well, you get no payoff with Littlefinger either. That's not even. He's been around for a while, and yes, it's a just death for us. We feel good about it. With Jon Snow and Tormund and everybody else, they've had so many close calls now. It's you're getting all this information, so you're getting an orgasm with no foreplay, but there's no danger in it either. You know, Jon Snow's not going to die. You know that Clegane is going to have to fight the Mountain, so you know he's going to be around for a little longer. Everybody else, you're not worried about. Where it used to be, you never know what's going to happen.
Yes,
what can happen? That's gone now. So now,
now it's become cliche.
Right, they pay spectacle now rather than death, which is still satisfying, but you don't get the oh shit moment out of it.
Yeah. So one of the things that one of my friends brought up while I was at the watch party yesterday was that he had a theory as to what was going to happen with the whole Arya, Sansa, and Littlefinger thing. And he said that that Arya was going to kill Littlefinger and then also possibly kill Sansa in either like a accidental sort of way. But then he also said that Arya was going to then make a meat puppet out of Littlefinger and take his face.
That was another thing that got no payoff, was the faceless man thing. They played it.
Yeah.
Arya to be crazy towards Sansa, and then they did a 180 and gave us like a Harry Potter Goblet of Fire ending. Well, everything's going to be different now, Ari. And looking out over the field together, and it's just after all of that, like all the things that they left out of that storyline.
Yeah, it was presented like we were the ones who should be getting the background information, but it was presented like it's supposed to be, oh, but really what they're doing is they're putting on a show for Littlefinger to be able to fool him. But we never saw Littlefinger really watching them and getting all this interaction between them. So it's meant to fool the audience, which is a cheap shit thing to do.
Well, we did see Littlefinger do the switcheroo with the scrolls and in turn be the one fooling Arya, but that got no payoff either.
Yeah, it was very poorly done at a point in time where, I mean, we're supposed to have developed these characters to a point where, yeah, we want to see them pull a twist on Littlefinger. We want to see them outsmart him, but we don't get to see them outsmart him. We just get to see the reveal of, oh, we outsmarted you. How? Doesn't fucking matter, does it? You know, from the speech that Sansa gives, it's basically like, you said this thing to me, now I'm saying it back to you. It was because you said it to me 5 minutes ago that I decided, oh, well, shit, Littlefinger must be the one to blame. So you put it in my head, and it completely deflates all the cool shit we built with Sansa and with Arya up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it was to go back to the heist film thing, if it was an Ocean's 11 movie, they would have gone backwards and shown us the steps along where they like pass notes to each other and shit, and where Bran's like, hey, see this fucking knife? Yeah, this didn't belong to anybody from our family. What the fuck is this? they would have done all those things to at least at the end make it all come together and seem like, oh, we just missed these parts.
You know what you really
We didn't
need?
get that.
You need Guy Ritchie to direct an episode if you want that.
Guy Ritchie needs a job right now, so yeah, that'd be
Which
okay.
I don't understand. King Arthur was great. I love that movie.
I'm sure I'll love it,
You mixed
but I
the
also was sure it wasn't going to make any money. It's like,
no, of course not. But I saw it in the theater twice. I loved it. I thought it was the best movie of the summer. The day it came out, I thought it was excellent. But that's me by myself.
I'll probably end up buying it, especially if you're saying it's good. Like I do recommendations off of my friends. Like I could give a fuck about what the movie review sites say, because ultimately I know you guys aren't going to do me wrong and say, oh, go watch this. Why? Because it's so fucking horrible. Why would I want to watch it? Just do it and stuff like that. I know you're not going to do that. You're going to tell me, hey, this is, stuff like, this is going to be good. So okay.
Recommendation, I wouldn't do that with me. I tend to like things that nobody else likes. Like I would tell you to see Suicide Squad.
And I like Suicide Squad. I have Suicide Squad behind me. Yeah, behind me, behind A Guy in the Shed by J.F. Dubell and my wall o' nerd. So ultimately, because we got 6 episodes left of Game of Thrones coming out in like 2 years, and each episode is going to be like an hour and a half, if the rumors are to believe. How do you feel this show is going to end? Do you feel it's going to end strong, or is it going to sort of whimper out?
I'm really up in the air with that. I, again, like for all the hate fucking I just did, I still enjoyed it. So I'm going to enjoy it regardless as to what happens. I think I need to see what happens with R.R. Martin in the next couple of years, and with Weiss and the other guy. I mean, they've always been great adaptation artists, but will they be great creators when it comes to actually making those shows on their own? It remains to be seen. But either way, I'm in.
Yeah, Corey.
I agree. I mean, I'm still enjoying the show for the spectacle of it, and because I want to see it to its fruition. And there, you know me, I will abandon the fuck out of a show if it pisses me off enough. It hasn't pissed me off. It's disappointing, but at the same time, it's still better than a lot of other stuff that's out there. And even if it's all cliche towards the end, I get to watch some really impeccable actors nailing parts. And maybe the material isn't perfect, but they are. And so yeah. I will keep with it like I have a fucking choice, because my wife will fucking Greyjoy me right off the fucking planet if I tried to change the channel.
But that'll save you in a fight later.
Yeah, a lot of cock. a lot of cock talk and then some cock action.
So basically what I'm hearing is Aaron would just reclaim what's rightfully hers.
Yeah, I mean,
is before we change topics, is Tormund dead? Did he die off screen? Or was he further along in part of the wall that didn't topple?
I don't think Tormund's dead yet.
He can't be, right? How could he have died off screen? You mentioned cock talk. It made me think of that, because if he died off screen, really the last moment he had was like hitting on Gendry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
which is awesome.
So one of the other things that I heard that I didn't quite catch, that he's not dead yet because it's a vision from Bran. Like we're seeing Bran do a vision. No, I didn't catch what he had.
Future vision?
Yeah.
Because it's explicitly been stated multiple times that Bran can see into the past and the present, but not the future.
Not the future.
Now, I wonder, does anybody buy into him being the Night King? Because they kind of have the same nose.
Well, what we have to do is we have to see the actor use that fucking app that everybody's posting with today of putting their own faces on the Night King.
That's true.
And see if they look exactly the same.
I used this app. Nothing happened. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping it does good. I mean, because I'm also coming at this strictly from the.
Yeah, it'd be great if this little show could find some success. You know, if it could build an audience.
I mean,
it struggled so hard on the ratings.
I'm not talking about ratings. Fuck ratings. I'm talking about story. I'm talking about the story here. Like, it ends good. It ends to where when we hopefully get the books out, that the book readers aren't going, the book was so much better, like they've been doing for the first 5 seasons.
Well, considering what this season's like, I kind of am led to believe that the books are probably better, because the first several seasons were based on the books, and now the ones that aren't to me as strong. So maybe that will be the motivation that George R.R. Martin needs when he finally can have people say, oh, God damn it, the show was great, but there's so many points that I wish could just be explored further. I need to read 3,000 fucking pages of prose to get my fill of this. can I find a fucking witness somewhere to open up and let me fill myself in, dear Lord?
Hallelujah!
Yeah.
What is going on?
I have to go my fucking shorts now.
All right, so that is going to do it for the Else Views, and we'll be right back for the Else Words.
Do you believe that there's intelligent life somewhere out there? That maybe extraterrestrial beings have already visited the Earth? Are you a fan of movies or TV shows like Star Trek or Alien? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you may also like the Alien Invasion podcast. On every episode, we talk about the latest ET-related news, report on a recent sighting, and make some alien-themed entertainment picks. Subscribe, download, and listen from where you get podcasts. Or by going to gncasts.com/aliens. That's GNCASTS.com/aliens.
For more on this Galactic Network podcast, go to gncast.com. That's GNCASTS.com.